seen posing for a picture with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and this is not all. Case supporter Indy Jaiswal was also seen posing for a picture with Jagmeet Singh.
We've got more news coming out of India. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today, Indian news has accused Justin Trudeau of trying to humiliate the Indian government. They've also accused him of having direct links to Khalistanis. And in breaking news, we got Palestinian protesters absolutely going a rampage through Montreal, destroying things, all while Justin Trudeau is at the Taylor Swift concert, unleashing unbelievable cringe. Starting off with the biggest cringe of them all, we've got Justin Trudeau, Captain Schmuck here, at the Taylor Swift Eras Tour in Toronto. I believe he's with Ella Grace, his daughter here. Just buckle up, because this is cringe. Oh, come on. This is so bad. I swear what the police should be doing is when inmates come in for bad crimes, they should just put this on loop on a TV in prison and subject people to watching that. I'll never commit a crime again. Are these tickets accessible to the average Canadian family? No, they're really expensive. But Trudeau, I'm sure, is using our money to pay for those tickets while Montreal burns. So we'll get to that. There's massive chaos that is just broken out. Breaking news here in Montreal. He's completely in his element, surrounded by... I'm not reading the rest of that one. He's in his element surrounded... I'm not reading these comments. Cringiest crap I've seen all day. I love how my tax dollars are being spent. You know he didn't go alone and will be surrounded by security since he is loved so much. Tickets paid for by struggling Canadian taxes. We've also got another angle here. He's taking selfies or pictures for people. Okay, we're gonna mute that music, but ugh, this cringe. Like, what? This guy. He should be leaving this place immediately to deal with what's going on in Montreal. Before I get into the rest of the video, where India accuses Trudeau of a bunch of things being connected to Khalistanis, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's just jump into this breaking news. We've got these scenes coming out of Montreal. I can't play this footage. You can check it out. It's on my X account. It's all over X, period, but I've posted some of these on my X account. We've got pro-Palestinian protesters smashing buildings, smoke grenades, cars on fire. They're just destroying everything. They're scaring people, people running for their lives. The police have finally come out and started to do their job here. Things are escalating big time. Once again, can't hit play, can't show any more than that. You can see here they're using all sorts of tools to destroy what we pay for as taxpayers. This is going to cost us a lot of money. The only thing that is acceptable at this point is having all these people put in jail, and they need to be working 10 hours a day, doing some hard manual labor jobs to pay for all this destruction. Got this one here. It says this is Montreal tonight, and just a huge mob of these people. And it started off kind of slow, and as you watch the videos, then it escalated them to just smashing windows, smashing glass, terrorizing. Meanwhile, the entire time you got Justin Trudeau doing this cringe at Taylor Swift. Canada lifts extra screening measures for passengers flying to India. So Anita Anand has lifted this. So basically they put this in place just a few days ago. They made it so you had to get to the airport 4 hours before flying to India. Indian news is saying that they're doing this to try to humiliate Modi. Apparently they're saying Biden and America stepped in and said, stop doing that stuff, cut that crap out. And they've now lifted this. They won't say why they lifted it.
Canadian Transport Minister has now announced that the extra screening measures that were imposed earlier this week on travellers to India, that has now been lifted. This comes at a time when bilateral relations between the two countries have been frosty after baseless allegations were made by Canada over the killing of Khalistani sympathizer Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Akanksha, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Akanksha, what's behind this latest move from the Canadian side?
Remember, the Minister of Transport, in fact, Anita Anand, has made this announcement. And
so jumping over to this other broadcast, I'm going to ping pong between a few of them.
Top intel sources are saying Canadian government order on November 19th about extra security measures and need to report 4 hours before at the airport was issued recently, and in sudden developments this was withdrawn without any reason. According to top Indian intelligence agencies, this was done to embarrass Bharat and Indians. In another incident, according to sources, Prime Minister's office asked RCMP to give authorized leak to prominent newspaper of Canada about the involvement of top leadership of India. Now, according to sources, Justin Trudeau's office wanted to embarrass the Indian side while all were away. and leaked this story, especially on the G20 fora. Now, according to sources, possibly this was retracted after American pressure, and it was visible in the group picture of Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, and PM Modi in Brazil. Now, that's what the understanding is, that
Look at this. What is going on here with Biden?
there has been a retraction thereafter. But more importantly, this entire swab, first instruction of swab needs to be taken and then that being withdrawn. Sushant Sareen, why is this so much of K placation which is happening? Isn't this too overt? Yes, Canada has been infamous for giving them space in the past, but isn't this taking things overboard?
No, I think this is pretty much in the fitness of things of what, unfortunately, Canada has become. It's become a kind of a mafia state. You know, you remember Godfather? That there is a police captain who's actually giving a protection racket to that drug smuggler called Solozzo. This is what Canadian police is. What they're asking for is protection money. This is what happens in a mafia state, where there are these guys who have inserted themselves in the political system, the administrative system, the police system. You name it, they're in the judiciary in Canada.
So we're going to get back to that. But first, Justin Trudeau was asked about this whole situation at a press conference today.
Recently at the G20 summit, we did see a glimpse of you, President Biden, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi together. I wanted to know, was there any discussions that took place at that time, or was there a one-on-one sit-down? And how are Canada and India relations right now, and what is the government doing to work on them?
I had an excellent one-on-one sit-down with President Biden where we talked about a range of issues, including a number of challenging international issues.
He's not going to address Modi. He was standing right next to Modi, the guy he was accusing. Like, it's wild.
We will continue to work with the United States. We'll continue to work with all partners around the world to defend
All partners, but I won't mention India because I'm a spineless weasel.
the rule of law, to keep people safe, and to make sure that we're growing prosperity for everyone in all the right ways.
Thank you.
Weak softball answer with a cheese bucket, greasy smile at the end. We don't need to see that, Trudeau. Now, heading back to the police corruption that's going on that they're accusing Canada of.
And we've seen how the cops have behaved. There is, for example, if there is an apprehension of breach of peace, you don't go after the guys who are collecting peacefully for whatever paperwork or for devotion purposes or for praying in a temple. You go after the guys who are going to be disrupting them. Out here, the opposite is happening, that we are not going to molest the guys who are going to be causing the disturbance, but we will go after the people who are potential victims and ask them that either pay us money or else you are on your own.
Yeah, he is right. I mean, the police were protecting the Khalistanis, even though they're the instigators. They were the anger mob that went in and were smacking people with sticks. They're smacking the Hindus with sticks, and yet the Hindus are the ones that aren't getting protection. It's appalling. Further ahead, they talked about this some more.
Has this ever happened that a local police says, give me $70,000, otherwise I can't cover you, I can't give you protection?
It's extremely unusual. And it's a bad development. It's not something that should be encouraged for police to say, sorry, you're on your own. Basically, that's what they're telling these people. That if there is a threat and if there is a possible violence, which, by the way, has recently happened, it's not a crazy idea. If there is violence, then you're on your own, unless you want to hire us for 70, and I've heard higher figures, as high as $100,000 to protect your meeting.
They're saying that cops are demanding money to protect the Hindus off hours for large sums of cash.
Recently, a mainstream media reported that a Canadian security agency claimed Prime Minister Modi and the Foreign Affairs Minister are aware of the attacks on Canadian citizens. However, the National Security Agency stated that it has no evidence to support his allegation. Will your government investigate how an agency can make such a claim and how a mainstream media outlet can publish this story without any evidence?
Well, first of all, we have seen, unfortunately, that criminals leaking top secret information to the media has consistently gotten those stories wrong. That's why we had a national inquiry into foreign interference that has highlighted that the criminals leaking information to media outlets are unreliable on top of being criminal.
And let me guess, you're reliable and you're not a criminal? Give me a break, man. You just demoted, you fired your minister back to an MP status because he's involved in activities which are not ethical, shall we say? His company's being sued by multiple companies. He's directly tied to a white powder keg boom boom importer through a mailbox he shares. He pretended to be indigenous. Come on, Trudeau. It's time to step down. You're becoming a mockery of planet Earth.
In terms of the issue, let me just repeat that my primary job as a Canadian leader is to keep Canadians safe.
Safe from having a good life, safe from making money and keeping it, safe from being able to afford healthy food, safe from anything that makes life good.
Over the past years in multiple difficult situations is to put the emphasis on keeping Canadians safe here at home across the country, and
keeping your bank accounts in other countries safe and keeping those flushed with fat stacks of cash. Let's just get real.
Making sure we're standing up for the rule of law. We will always do that.
Then tell us why you quit halfway through a school year. Huh? Why don't you tell us that? That's very bizarre for a teacher to quit mid-year. It's bad for the students, Justin. Why don't you clear up why you did that? Next up, we're jumping over to another broadcast. They accused Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh of having direct ties to Khalistanis.
The Trudeau establishment having a soft spot for K-goons is no surprise to anyone, and from protecting cops, aiding the K propaganda when it comes to Hindu temples being targeted, or the lip service of action in the Arshadallah case, the Canadian government linked to K elements just cannot be denied. Now, here on the right stand, we bring you much more proof, or more such proof. Exclusive input shared by Security Affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta that will leave the Trudeau establishment or Trudeau-led establishment in Canada's K-link further exposed. Now, this man on your screens is Indy Jaiswal, the face of the K protests across Canada, a YouTuber furthering the K propaganda and agenda. And in this visual, he can...
This is interesting. So this guy's a YouTuber. This is obviously taken back from 2 years ago. So it's an interesting person that Trudeau would meet up with or take a photo with. This does fit the narrative, the whole situation that's going on, that Trudeau would want a message further pushed. Thus, he would help support a YouTuber who is a K-goon, as they like to call them. It's hilarious. I like that term. It's funny. Is there much more substance here? I don't know.
Be seen posing for a picture with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and this is not all. K supporter Indy Jaiswal was also seen posing for a picture with Jagmeet Singh, a Canadian MP infamous for his backing of K elements. Now, there is also this video that's come in, and there's a video of a K supporter Indy Jaiswal leading such a K stir in Canada. And listen into the slogans these K-goons are raising out loud. They claim that Canada is a Khalistan nation and that Canadians must go back to England and Europe.
You are from Europe, England people. You go back to Europe. You are not Canadian. We are Canadian. This is our country. You are invaders. We are not.
This is appalling garbage. Let's call it as this is a pile of garbage.
Indian. You go back.
The above video leaves one wondering if this is the new normal in Canada now. Intel sources have informed CNN News 18 that it's not just about anti-Canada slogans, but the K-goons are also claiming control from local Canadians. Alleged protection money is being extorted from Hindus, and threats are being issued to locals. The writing's on the wall, viewers. The K-terror infrastructure that Justin Trudeau-led administration has been harboring in their own backyard has now come to bite them back.
Something to note about this, just so it's fair journalism, Pierre Poilievre has taken pictures with hundreds, thousands of people, and a couple of them have been these crazies or whatever. And then the left like to say, look, he took a picture with that crazy guy, which means he supports this and that and whatever. Just because that K-goon YouTuber guy took a photo with Justin Trudeau doesn't mean there's a direct connection. What's weird, though, it's interesting, is that the fact he has access to both Trudeau and Jagmeet, now maybe they're both at the same event, or maybe this person travels around and tries to find the politicians to get photos with them. It doesn't mean there's a connection, but how many people can say they've taken a photo with not just one leader of a major party, but two? Probably not very many. Does it fit Justin Trudeau's narrative? You know, him with a K-goon Khalistani YouTuber, and then that movement being protected by the police, all this stuff. Yes, that does fit the narrative. Who knows? Interesting, though, that this is what's running on Indian news, national news, to over 1 billion people. Jumping over to my group, let's check out what memes we've got today. Canada Post reports 315 million loss in third quarter as strike continues. Oof, nasty. Christmas is canceled, folks. Here's what you'd have to gross in each province to make the same amount as refugees in Canada. Oh, Oh, that's a nasty graph. That's not going to make people happy. Doesn't make me happy. $110,000. Even when I was a lead artist at Microsoft, I did not make this much money. Polling finds Trudeau now in 4th place. Ooh, Jagmeet has slipped up past the block. This is a complete clown show. This is a funny statement here. Everyone should take their $250 and donate it to the Conservative Party of Canada. That is hilarious. Just get this massive influx of funding, like just crazy. Consider it done. How is JT's new tax break helping seniors? It's not. What's goofy about this too is this is going to cost Canadians about $6 billion to roll out these payments to everyone, when really if he just paid $3 billion or whatever it was, $3.2 billion for the OES to the bloc, he could have had the bloc support to just support them all the way to the election. Like, the guy's decisions as a politician are just baffling. He said they can't afford to increase old age pension payments, yet suddenly they can afford to pay double for a $250 handout, working class Canadians. Like, it makes no sense. The Canadian freeloader, March break vacation, 160,000, net worth 10 million. I think it's a lot more than that. Annual salary 400,000. I think it's technically 405 or 406,000. Accomplishments, nothing. How to politely tell someone they're stupid. Wisdom has been chasing you, but you have always been faster. Why did Noah build an ark when he could have simply paid more taxes to stop climate change? They want you to believe gluten is bad for you. I'm here to tell you it's not the gluten, it's the glyphosate. So I get all these red marks on my face from either refined sugar or gluten. If you're telling me it's the glyphosate, when I did eat bread, I can't eat bread anymore, it would be the fancy fermented whatever bread. I'll have to look into this, but if anyone knows more about this, leave a comment down below or post it in this group. This episode says a lot here. We've got Justin Trudeau doing his cringe dance moves at the Taylor Swift concert. Meanwhile, Montreal is being invaded. We've got India making all these accusations against Justin Trudeau. He denies everything. He blames everyone else. Like, when will we get a real leader to run our country?